So we are currently hours away from Microsoft's presentation at E3, which of course is going to mostly be the big showcase of the Scorpio unit. And there's been a lot of questions on pretty much everyone's mind at this point, because we've only seen very small snippets and small bits of one gameplay and really just two screenshots of the Scorpio unit. Yesterday we did see EA Play from what we appeared to be Madden being kind of shown on the Scorpio very briefly in screenshots. We did see, of course, the Forza demo that they showed. And at this point, I mean, we're just waiting for Microsoft to start their event to see what Scorpio is all about and how it actually performs in the real world to a degree. Of course, we won't know that until it actually comes out. We have it in our homes, and we can sit here and play it and do all the tests that I'm sure people like Digital Foundry and other tech blogs and stuff will do. But this is a prediction show as well, so I am putting the Scorpio at the same price that I've been saying for months now, $499. We did see Jeff Keighley come out on Twitter now saying that he believes it will also be $499. I don't know if that's from insider information, because he is, of course, at E3 kind of talking to all of the, I guess, higher-ups, the bigwigs and stuff about their systems, and he also says $499. I am not at all surprised. $499 was, I think, the correct price if that is what Microsoft is going with, because keep in mind, it offers a better value than the original Xbox One, one of this guy here, for example. And this launched at $499. Of course, it came with a Kinect, but it was still an underpowered system compared to the PS4, which was cheaper. Now, the Scorpio is finally going to be correct, because it will be a more powerful system than PS4 Pro, and it'll also be more expensive. So unless Sony has any thoughts of dropping the price on their PS4 Pro, which they really don't have to, because it's going to be $100 cheaper anyway, but you would get that $100 in value for a true 4K machine. So I think Microsoft is very comfortable sitting at $500. I think there are some people who had this weird pipe dream that it would be less than $400. I don't see how that's possible with the stuff that Microsoft's saying would be in there, the specs, the engineering that goes into it. I have no idea how they would get to that price point. Even $400 seemed like a stretch to me. $450 was more likely if I had to pick a different price. I'm sticking with $500 though. That makes the most sense to me. Next is release date. I've been trying to figure out the release date for this for a little while. They said holiday, but I do think because most places release their stuff in November, especially when it comes to systems, the Switch being a very odd kind of outlier, I do think it'll be November. I'm looking at November 10th. It's a Friday in November. To me, that makes sense. They usually would release something like this on a Friday. And November 10th is right in there, so they can get the initial stock out and then have more stock show up for the holiday season, just in case they sell through their initial allotment, which they probably will, because I'm not even sure how many they'll put out there initially, but I do see them selling through their initial allotment. And then, of course, the following month, which would be December, they would have the second shipment go out to meet holiday demand. So it doesn't really make any sense to put it out in December. I do think the first or second week of November is the most likely. I just happen to pick November 10th. Now, what is a system without games? Well, it's not much. It's mostly a computer then that can't run full-fledged Windows. So they have to have games there. And I think we all know at this point that there are a few we can pretty much pick out. Specifically, we pretty much know at this point that Forza will be there, more than likely Forza 7, because we just had Horizon 3. Now they shift to their standard title with Forza, where they have a numbered system. Forza 7 will pretty much be a lock to be there. I think we all know this. In fact, there have been leaked images that have come out about it, and we even have what is supposed to be a leaked or rumored release date. Keep in mind, guys, this prediction show will also go over leaks and rumors, so if you don't want to have anything potentially spoiled for you, you may want to skip the rest of the video, but if you don't mind, because I don't even know if any of this stuff is true, we're just going to discuss it as well. But the leaked, rumored release date is October 3rd of 2017, which is interesting because that means that then Scorpio would have to come out around that time for it to make sense for them, but I don't think they'd want to get it out until November. So that's interesting that Forza 7 would come out ahead of time, but keep in mind, if they sell a regular Xbox One, it's still money for them anyway, and Forza will have to run across the board on the regular one, the slim version, and then the inevitable Scorpio. Now, following that, they have to have some more exclusive games. Even if it's just exclusive to that and their PC environment with Windows 10, they need to have something that's not on other consoles. And another big rumored / leak that has come out is that another Ori game, like Ori and the Blind Forest, will be coming out, and it's called Ori Will of the Wisp. And no release date on that yet. There's been leaked images that have come out. Again, leaked and rumored images, but when I saw this, it makes a ton of sense. The first one was great. It was highly acclaimed. It was a beautiful game. The atmosphere is awesome. The story was great. It's very sad, but it was good. And it makes a lot of sense for them to fund and make another one to get that onto the Xbox. Even the Scorpio, even the regular Xbox will work fine with. And then, of course, Windows 10 environment. So that to me would be a great pickup for them if they can do that. But I do think that will be there as well alongside Forza. While that's a smaller game, it's still a game that is only on the Xbox and Xbox Scorpio. Two other ones that I'm almost positive will be there at this point because we already know they exist is Crackdown, the new Crackdown 3, and then Cuphead. I was really hoping Cuphead would be a released around E3 type of game. You know how they go on stage and they say it's available now or it's available next week? I was really hoping that would be the case here, but I don't know anything else about this. It might end up coming out later on in the year, like holiday season as well, but Cuphead looks so cool, and I really want to play it, so I really hope it comes out like a week from now, or it's out tonight even. But that game has been, again, it's been kind of a troubled past for that one as well. There was a point in time where people didn't even know it existed anymore. But I do think we'll see a lot more of that, at least a little more. And then the big one they'll probably focus on is Crackdown 3. Mostly because I think that's going to show what the Scorpio can do with all of the stuff they were trying. Remember how they were trying to show us, like, oh, it's going to function with the cloud. The cloud's going to do all these calculations and stuff. I feel like they've probably kind of nixed that strategy now, and they're just going to leave it on console. But I think the Scorpio, with its obviously its more powerful system, will do some pretty cool things with that game in 4K. But keep in mind, it also has to run very similar to the regular Xbox. Fortunately, they mostly share a very similar CPU across the board, so physics-based rendering and stuff will be the same. I just don't know if we'll see it this... I want to say we'll see it this year because I feel like it's going to come out around the Scorpio's release and it will be a holiday season game, but we've just not seen much about this. So I'm hoping it's a 2017 game because I liked the first Crackdown a lot. The second one was okay, but the first one, man, that was such a cool game, and I would love to jump into the third one when I get the Scorpio. Hopefully it actually comes out alongside the Scorpio. Now we know BioWare's IP will be there, the new one, Anthem. They actually put out a trailer for it and named it even. So it's called Anthem. And we don't know much more about it than that. It looks like it takes place, obviously, in a future environment, much like, I guess, BioWare wants to go in that direction, which is fine, but there's just not a lot out there for us now. They did say we will get an exclusive look at gameplay for it in this conference coming up for Microsoft, and I assume they're going to play it on the Scorpio. So that would be cool to see, but I need to see a little more about this game, but at least Microsoft has this locked up to show off at their conference on their system. Should be interesting to see where BioWare takes this franchise called Anthem. Next up, I was trying to figure out what third-party games Microsoft would show here. And at first, you always think Call of Duty, right? While they could still show Call of Duty, it seems like Sony has marketing for that entire thing kind of locked up as well, and it'd be weird for them to show off a game that is getting funding from Sony for marketing, but they could show off WW2, Call of Duty WW2 in like full 4K, just straight up, but I think I think Call of Duty WW2 will end up on Sony's show, and I think we might see Battlefield in 4K with their new expansion showing some gameplay on the Microsoft stage, so I would say Battlefield would be there more likely than a Call of Duty, although I would like to see Call of Duty WW2 gameplay either way, and I would like to see it now instead of wait for Sony's conference, especially if they show it on the Scorpio, just because I'm very interested to see how the Scorpio will run games that are not built on, say, DirectX 12, how they have that set up. So that would be very interesting to see how that one runs, although I could see something like Battlefield being shown instead, just because they have the new expansion coming out. Maybe they want to show it in 4K on Scorpio stage. That's not a bad idea there, and EA seems to be a little more in with Microsoft. Now, strangely, yesterday at EA Play, we didn't see anything about their new Madden game, right? Nothing about Madden gameplay. They talked about how it's going to have the full story mode, and it's going to use Frostbite engine, all that good stuff. We didn't see any actual gameplay, which was weird. Nothing like straight up. No one came on stage and played it or anything. I think we might see Madden specifically on Scorpio, at least a little bit of gameplay. I mean, keep in mind they did talk about Scorpio at their event, EA did. So I wouldn't be shocked if they showed something like Battlefield and they showed Madden all playing on the Scorpio in real time. And then, of course, we'll see new gameplay for the new IP from BioWare. So it seems like it might be, I wouldn't be surprised if EA had actually pretty big presence here with Madden and then their other games. I still feel like Microsoft will show up with a few new IPs, some new games that they have not announced yet, and I have a feeling there is a new RPG showing up for the Xbox, the Scorpio, what have you. I think they're going to show up with something new, at least a sequel or a new IP. There's this rumor that I'm having a hard time believing that Square Enix is working on something for them. I have a hard time believing that. but I do see them doing something like, say, a Lost Odyssey 2 that fans obviously want. Maybe not the majority of fans, but there are people out there, fans of the Xbox, who would like to see a sequel to that game. Or maybe you see another Blue Dragon, for example. I'm just trying to think of something for them that would appeal to the Japanese market, because sales for the Xbox, their whole line is bad over in Japan. And really, if they had an RPG that would kind of really speak to that culture, or just in general, give them something that they want to buy it for, that would probably do it. Just anything to boost sales over there, because it's just not good. The Wii U outsells them constantly over in Japan. And if they have any chance of really, I don't want to say catch up to the PS4, but creep up a little bit, they need to improve their Japanese presence. And really something like a Lost Odyssey 2 or Blue Dragon, or just a new IP that does have Japanese influence in terms of like an RPG and the culture and everything, they have a chance to at least sell more units in Japan. But yeah, guys, those are my predictions and thoughts on Microsoft's event coming up. That is obviously 5 o'clock my time Eastern, so in a couple hours we'll be seeing this. And I'm going to be streaming it fully, so you can stop by on SpawnWave and watch it with me. It'll be a lot of fun. Then we also have Bethesda's conference later on tonight as well that we'll watch, and I'll be streaming that. That's at midnight my time, so make sure you guys stop by, and let me know in the comments what games you think will be announced there, and also let me know what you think the Scorpio price will be, and we can kind of come back to this video after the show and see who was right, who got it dead on, who figured out the game that was going to be there. It should be pretty fun. So I'll see you guys later on today in a couple hours at the Microsoft Scorpio press conference.